Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between green hills and a winding river, there lived a little girl named Karla. Karla was unlike the other children in the village because she couldn't see. She was blind. But Karla didn't let that stop her from enjoying life. Every morning, as the sun peeked over the hills, Karla would wake up with a smile on her face. She could hear the birds chirping and feel the warmth of the sun on her skin. "Good morning, world," she would say, her voice filled with joy. Karla lived with her loving parents in a cozy cottage by the edge of the village. Her father was a skilled woodworker, and her mother was a talented weaver. Despite being blind, Karla helped her parents with chores around the house. She could sweep the floors, fold clothes, and even knead dough for baking. One day, as Karla sat outside her cottage, she heard a soft whimpering coming from the bushes nearby. Curious, she carefully made her way over and discovered a tiny puppy tangled in some branches. The poor thing was scared and shivering. With patient hands, Karla untangled the puppy and cradled it in her arms. From that day on, the puppy, whom Karla named Spark, became her faithful companion. Together, they explored the village and visited the bustling marketplace, where Karla could smell the aroma of freshly baked bread and hear the merchants haggling over prices. One afternoon, as Karla sat in the garden with Spark by her side, she heard a voice calling her name. Turning in the direction of the voice, Karla smiled as she recognized the voice of her friend, Sarah. Sarah was a kind-hearted girl who lived in the village. She was always eager to spend time with Karla, describing the wonders of the world around her. "I have a surprise for you," Sarah said. With Sarah's help, Karla stood up and followed her friend to the center of the garden. There, beneath the shade of a tall oak tree, stood a magnificent sculpture. It was a lifelike statue of a butterfly, its delicate wings frozen in mid-flight. "It's beautiful," Karla breathed, running her hands over the surface of the sculpture. "It's for you," Sarah said, beaming with pride. "The whole village pitched in to make it. We wanted to create something special for you, something you could feel and appreciate." Tears welled up in Karla's sightless eyes as she felt the love and kindness radiating from the sculpture. She hugged Sarah tightly, her heart overflowing with gratitude. As Karla grew older, she realized that she wanted to be more independent and contribute to her family's livelihood. Despite her blindness, she was determined to find a way to earn money on her own. One day, while visiting the village market with Spark, Karla overheard a conversation between three villagers about handmade crafts. She listened closely as they discussed the intricate art of pottery making. Inspired by their words, Karla decided to give it a try. With the help of her father, Karla set up a small pottery studio in their backyard. Using her keen sense of touch and intuition, she learned to mold clay into beautiful works of art. As Karla delved deeper into her pottery-making journey, she encountered numerous hurdles and challenges along the way, primarily stemming from her blindness. At first, molding the clay into shape proved to be quite difficult for Karla. She couldn't rely on her sight to guide her hands, so she had to develop a heightened sense of touch and spatial awareness. There were countless times when her pots would collapse or her designs would become misshapen, leaving her frustrated and disheartened. Despite her initial struggles, Karla refused to give up. With unwavering determination, she continued to experiment and refine her techniques. Her parents, seeing her passion and dedication, offered words of encouragement and practical assistance whenever needed. Slowly but surely, Karla began to master the art of pottery, finding innovative ways to adapt her process to suit her unique needs. However, not everyone in the village was initially supportive of Karla's pottery endeavors. Some villagers doubted her ability to create quality work, without the use of sight. They hesitated to purchase her pottery, preferring the more traditional pieces made by sighted artisans. But Karla remained undeterred by their skepticism. Instead of dwelling on their doubts, she focused on honing her craft and finding her own unique style. One day, while brainstorming ideas in her studio, inspiration struck. Karla decided to incorporate textures and tactile elements into her pottery designs, making them not just visually appealing but also appealing to the sense of touch. She experimented with raised patterns, intricate carvings, and embossed motifs, using her fingers to create intricate details that added depth and character to her pieces. With each new creation, Karla's pottery became more than just functional objects. It became works of art that told stories through their textures and designs. Soon, word began to spread once again, but this time, it was about Karla's innovative approach to pottery making. The villagers were intrigued by Karla's unique creations. They marveled at the intricate patterns and textures, running their fingers over the surface of her pots and vases in awe. What had once been met with skepticism was now met with admiration and respect. With Spark as her loyal companion, Karla traveled to craft fairs and markets, showcasing her pottery to a wider audience. As Karla's pottery gained popularity, she continued to push the boundaries of her creativity. She experimented with new techniques and materials, constantly striving to innovate and evolve as an artist. Her pottery became sought after not just in the village, but in neighboring towns and even cities. As Karla's pottery business flourished and her reputation as a talented artisan grew, she realized that she had a unique opportunity to make a difference in the lives of other blind people in her community and beyond. Drawing from her own experiences and challenges as a blind person, Karla decided to establish a pottery workshop specifically designed for individuals with visual impairments. With the support of her family and the village elders, she transformed a small corner of her studio into a space equipped with specialized tools and tactile materials. Word of Karla's workshop spread quickly, attracting blind individuals from neighboring towns and even cities. They came seeking not only to learn the art of pottery, but also to gain confidence and independence in their own abilities. Karla welcomed each new student with open arms, offering encouragement, guidance, and practical tips based on her own experiences. She taught them how to navigate the pottery wheel by touch, how to sculpt and shape clay with precision, and how to incorporate textures and tactile elements into their designs. But Karla's workshop was more than just a place to learn pottery. It was a sanctuary where blind individuals could come together, share their stories, and support one another on their journey toward empowerment and self-discovery. Through laughter, tears, and moments of triumph, they formed bonds that transcended their shared disability. As news of Karla's workshop spread, more and more blind people flocked to her studio, eager to learn and grow under her guidance. Moved by the overwhelming response, Karla decided to expand her reach beyond the confines of her village. She began hosting workshops and seminars in neighboring towns and cities, sharing her knowledge and expertise with blind individuals from all walks of life. Through her tireless efforts and unwavering determination, Karla became a beacon of hope and inspiration for the blind community. She proved that blindness was not a barrier to success, but rather a springboard for creativity, innovation, and empowerment. With each pot she molded, each life she touched, Karla's legacy grew stronger, leaving an indelible mark on the world and paving the way for a brighter, more inclusive future for all.